How's it going, everybody? Nerds Rising here, and welcome back to the Nerd Cave. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at some incredibly high-level gameplay in the Open Master League, featuring a level 51 Best Buddy Solgaleo, a level 50 Kyurem, and a level 50 Double Legacy Rayquaza with a new Breaking Swipe and Dragon Ascent. So guys, this team is by no means an accessible team. This is not something that the average person has. It requires tons of XL grinding, and if you're like myself and you're a huge Master League noob, then today, guys, we're going to be sitting back and enjoying some 3200 ELO gameplay with a very, very cool team. And the team doesn't feature Dialga or Zacian, so if that doesn't deserve a like, I truly do not know what does, because you really do see like 5 or 6 Pokemon in the Master League, and really none of these three are super common. I mean, you do see them, but especially I think the Rayquaza, I think I'm probably most looking forward to seeing the Rayquaza in action with that new Dragon Ascent, because this thing just hits so incredibly hard. So we're going to be getting into it here, guys. Again, thank you to Edry Jason for sending these in. He said that he started using this team in the 3100s and made a push deep into the 3200s using it. So let's get into the battles here. I am looking forward to seeing these, and we'll have to see what he's able to pull off in this video. So Solgaleo on the lead into Melmetal, so very nice lead in the first battle here. And the fact that all the charge moves are resisted still doesn't make this a bad matchup for Solgaleo, because Fire Spins are going to be adding up, and after these Psychic Fangs just continue to debuff the defense of the Melmetal, he probably will end up just fully farming it down. And as you guys see, Solgaleo at level 51 nearly is at 4600 CP, so if this was a hundo, I imagine it easily breaks 4600 CP. And yeah, the Melmetal is going to need multiple superpowers, so they're forced to switch out, and they bring in a Shadow Apex Lugia. So very cool by the opponent there, but he has the Kyurem, and Kyurem does have access to the Legacy Glaciate, which will be debuffing the attack of the Lugia. So going to be bringing that in, going to be just getting it off right away on good timing. And the Lugia probably will, yeah, I was going to say, they probably will just let it go. Lugias typically don't like to shield, but the Lugia forces a shield advantage, and they're probably going to be bringing back in that Melmetal. The Melmetal does have a little bit of energy, and let's see what they decide to do, and they do bring it back in. Once again, throwing on very nice timing just before they make the move, and this will get the Melmetal fairly low, to the point where the Solgaleo should be able to come back in and pretty comfortably farm it all the way down, I would imagine here. And they do actually have double Iron Bash. That takes out the Kyurem, and what's he going to bring in? Actually going to bring in the Rayquaza, get an energy lead, and that is a very nice read there, because he's going to get this Breaking Swipe off before the opposing Rayquaza makes their move. And this is looking a little bit tricky. The opponent does have a shield advantage, but since he went in early and got that very important extra Dragon Tail off, he does make 2 Breaking Swipes, and now this opposing Rayquaza is going to be double debuffed here. They just let it go. They're saving it all for the Melmetal, and the Solgaleo does farm down. I'm not quite sure if a superpower would have KO'd there. I think he still had that game even if they made the superpower, and very well played in game 1. And in the next battle, we have a Dialga lead here, which is the absolute dream lead, guys. Like I was saying in the intro, this thing beats Dialga and Zacian, so if they have a Zacian in the back, they're going to be forced to stay into a pretty rough matchup where all their moves are going to be walled, unless, of course, they're a Mad Lad running Thunder, so that actually makes it a little bit more uncomfortable now for the Solgaleo. 2 Thunders will KO here, and unfortunately, into these Steel types, all the moves are going to be resisted, and it looked like they brought in maybe a Giratina Origin there. I didn't quite see, and it is a Giratina Origin, and he has the perfect response in Rayquaza, and actually just going to throw the move right away, recognizing that he switched in quick enough so could outpace to a Shadow Ball, and the opponent is willing to give up a shield there, and since they're debuffed, he's calling that he does live the Shadow Ball, and he does live it pretty comfortably as well, actually, and gets the full farm down. It makes quite a bit of sense, because you know that the Dialga probably just going to come in and farm down, but no, the opponent's actually going to bring in a Togekiss here, and their whole team, well, I guess not their whole team, but their lead and their closer are core broken by this Solgaleo here. The Dialga and the Togekiss both lose to it, and does actually shield the these Psychic Fangs there, and now it's going to be all up to Kyurem to close out this game. This is a Dragon type, but it does have Glaciate, and I think the opponent should probably be switching out. They do switch out, but now I think Kyurem just fully farms down here, makes the double Glaciate, and that is going to be all she wrote, because I don't think that the Togekiss is going to make another move. They did just throw the Ancient Power here, and I don't think this will quite KO, and yeah, going to need another one here, but this is going to be a GG, and very nicely played there. Solgaleo, as you guys are seeing, is just a very nice core breaker in the current Open Master League meta. And let's see what we have here in Game 3. A Groudon lead, so very tough. Does have 2 good responses in the back at the very least, and the opponent answers the Kyurem here with a Rayquaza, and this is definitely not an answer to Kyurem. Easily going to be forcing a shield here, and I'm imagining he can probably shield once and then force both shields if he wants to. I'm not sure. I don't think he makes 3 moves. I think these Dragon Tails are just going to be too oppressive, and yeah, going to either be able to force switch here or both shields. And let's see if the opponent's willing to give up both shields. They are willing to give up both shields, and they throw energy there, which is absolutely huge, which means probably his Solgaleo can come in here and farm all the way down. These are resisted, but gets the farm down perfectly, and now has a shield advantage for the Rayquaza. And oh boy, are we going to see a Dragon Ascent land here? They've got a Zacian, guys, and we're about to find out how much a Dragon Ascent does on a Zacian in the Master League, and that does so much damage. Oh my gosh, guys, that Zacian is 4381 CP. It nearly one-shots. He farms it down, and the opponent just surrenders there, recognizing their Groudon had literally no play whatsoever. That is an absolutely crazy amount of damage for a Mon to one-shot a Zacian there. So next battle, the opponent does Safe Switch again, and this time they do bring in a Zacian here, and has the Kyurem here. So Kyurem, despite the fact that it's a Dragon type, this is still probably not that bad for the Kyurem, especially if they're running close combat, because now they're going to be forced to give up a shield here in order to maintain alignment, and I really don't think they're going to be snarling down here, so this is going to force them to throw again. And actually, no, this is a quick attack Zacian. They may actually have been able to farm down. I'm not quite sure if he would have made another move, but they play it safe, they close combat, and he's gotten himself a shield advantage, and we've already seen that Rayquaza with a shield advantage. It's just nothing to be trifled with, guys. This is just a Dark Pulse, but it does make sense to shield the first, because you're going to be debuffing their attack here with these Breaking Swipes, so it makes a lot of sense to shield the first. Very nicely there, throws on CMP. Does the opponent want to give a shield? And they don't, but actually undercharges it there. Recognizes he needs some energy, and they're double debuff now, so they can easily live this. And, he can easily live this, excuse me, and gets the full farm down and comes out with a lot of energy. So if they bring back in the lead here, then he will be able to one-shot it with the Dragon Ascent. They do bring back in the Zacian. Is he going to commit to the full farm down here is the question. And no, not going to take any chances. Not sure if he would have gotten there, but I really would have loved to see a Dragon Tail farm down on the Zacian. And they do bring back in the Groudon, which was the lead, by the way. I had just totally missed it because I was still talking about the last battle, but Groudon is just really in a rough position here. They can't go for the Fire Punch. They need the Precipice Blades, and he's just going to be debuffing this thing over and over and over again. And at this point, yeah, the opponent had to overfarm there. I still think Solgaleo could have lived a double debuff Precipice Blades, excuse me, very comfortably there. And just, we're seeing, guys, a masterclass in energy management. Wow, that actually did a ton of damage. That was a double debuff Precipice Blades, excuse me, and it did like 2/3 of the health of the Solgaleo there. So maybe he did need both of those debuffs to survive that. But anyway, very, very high-level gameplay so far. I really like the way he's managing his energy, getting extra farm on the Rayquaza. That undercharge was absolutely beautiful, and we see a Shadow Mammo here on the lead in the next battle, and the opponent brings in a Dialga, and again, we're seeing that the opponents here are just fully core broken by the Solgaleo. I can't really imagine, I don't know this for sure, guys. I don't really play the Master League, but I can't imagine there's too many people that have level 51 Solgaleos. I mean, I'm sure there are some. I know I've heard Home Slice Henry talk about it a little bit, but it's got to be a super difficult thing to get all the XLs for, because, I mean, obviously, if you have like a phone swing or something, that's going to help quite a bit, but there's not really any way to get super good amounts of candy for this thing other than walking it, because you can't trade it, obviously. So the opponent just sacks the Dialga there, and they have the Shadow Mammo here, but again, Kyurem is just so good in these losing matchups just because of that spammy Glaciate, debuffing the attack over and over and over again. And they have a Zekrom in the back, and Rayquaza is about to absolutely feast on his opponent's backline here. Does reach the Breaking Swipe before they make a move. Is this going to be enough to KO? And it absolutely is. Oh, no, they actually live on 1 HP. But yeah, at this point, you just let it go. Bring in your Solgaleo if it doesn't KO. It does KO, and now you've got the move loaded. Probably going to overfarm here. Yeah, just play it safe there. Go for the Iron Head. I'm sure that Psychic Fangs would have KO'd there, but no reason to take any chances. They full send it. That was their win con there. Hail Marrying the high horsepower, and he easily shields it up, takes the win. Very cool team by the opponent. You love to see a Shadow Mamoswine, but yeah, that opponent was just so weak to the Solgaleo lead there. And again, Solgaleo picking up an incredible lead into the Dialga. And unless they're Mad Lad running Thunder again, this is going to be a very comfortable matchup for the Solgaleo. And you can just go for these Psychic Fangs right away and just debuff them over and over and over again. And I'm imagining that Draco probably does a good amount of damage, but can live it, does actually respect it. Maybe expecting that he's going to need the Solgaleo in the endgame since the opponent was staying in. And what did they bring in there? They brought in a Dragonite, and he has the Kyurem here. And do you just shield once and farm down here? I'm not quite sure. He did get that Psychic Fangs debuff off. We'll have to see if he can farm all the way down. And very nice counting. Gets the farm down just as they're making the move there. And what are they going to come back in with? They're probably going to be bringing back in the Dialga, but they actually have a Kyogre in the back. And I think this is going to be a little bit tricky. Fortunately, he is resisting the fast move here, and he can get that debuff off and now get the claw off, and I'm not even sure he's in surf range because of that early Glaciate debuff, so they're going to be forced to bring in their Dialga. And do you hear... No, I was going to say, do you commit to the full Dragon Tail farm down? But no, he was just taking way too much damage and does get the Breaking Swipe off, but now that he's debuffed them, I think... Yeah, I think this is going to still KO, and then you just have to hope that you can farm down with the Solgaleo here, but I'm just not sure. This is looking like a GG, actually, guys, and they make the move just to add insult to injury, and yeah, this is looking like a G here. A G to the G here. I was thinking if the Rayquaza could have somehow lived that move from the Dialga and gotten the Breaking Swipe off on the Kyogre, maybe he could have won that game, but the opponent there, very, very nicely done, recognizing that he was probably going to get to 2 Psychic Fangs, and that the second one would do more. And actually, no, he farms down the Kyogre there. I think that they had energy. Let's go back and look at that real quick. I think that Kyogre had energy, and they just didn't throw it, because didn't they bank? Did they even throw a Surf in the original matchup? I think they had a ton of energy there. They're over-farming massively. He doesn't even have any shields, and I think the opponent there was just extremely slow with their reaction time. Yeah, they had the Surf there, and I think they just needed to throw it instantly, but very well played there, sniping with the Kyurem in the end game to take that win. I was thinking that looked like a GG. I think that Kyogre had 2 Surfs. Am I wrong, guys? Maybe I just wasn't paying attention, but I'm pretty sure that Kyogre had a lot of energy. But anyway, next battle here, we see our Kyurem here into a Rayquaza, and going to be able to get a shield advantage, and then probably just going to let this go. No, actually going to make sure he gets this next move off here, and is going to get the next move off. And again, we've already seen this happen in an earlier battle, either going to force both shields or switch advantage from the Rayquaza, and does get both shields. And now Solgaleo can very comfortably come in and farm all the way down and come out with a massive amount of energy. And they're going to debuff his attack right away, which honestly is even better in my opinion. This is just going to give this Solgaleo even more farm, and if they make another Breaking Swipe, which they do, it's really not going to matter, because as soon as they bring back in the lead, he's going to be instantly switching back out anyway. So it's just really not that big a deal. Groudon does come back in, but again, he now has that Rayquaza with the shield advantage, and it's another Zacian in the back. And you guys have already seen how this story ends. Dragon Ascent is going to be absolutely crushing the Zacian. You love to see it. And yeah, this poor Groudon again is going to surrender. And that played out almost exactly like the last battle, guys. I wonder if this is a repeat battle. I truly don't think it is, but yeah, you're just seeing that if they're running a team that is core broken by Solgaleo, and then you can give Rayquaza a shield advantage in the endgame, it's just really rough for the opponent. And we have the Solgaleo mirror here in this battle. This is kind of awkward. You do kind of have to stay in here, and it does look like he has a slight CP advantage here on this opposing Solgaleo, so should be winning CMP, it looks like, but no. Actually going to bank energy and then safe switch out of there. Wants to make sure he preserves his own Solgaleo in case they have a Fairy in the back, and they do have a Xerneas in the back, so very smart that he did that. And does get the early debuff off. I'm imagining a Moonblast probably still KOs, and it does still KO. And now has the Solgaleo still alive, and they're still debuffed on their attack. So does a close combat KO? I'm not actually sure. I imagine a close combat probably still would just about KO, even with the debuff. So very wisely there, goes for the CMP tie. Doesn't want to risk him over farming and then getting to the close combat. And now gonna let this move go and bring in the Rayquaza, get an energy head start, and they're not switching out, and that's telling me that they're gonna be weak to this Rayquaza in back. And if they let their Solgaleo go down, then he's gonna be able to debuff whatever in the back, and they're not gonna be able to reset it. It looks like they did switch out on like 1 HP and preserve their Solgaleo, but this is just gonna be such a dominant matchup for Rayquaza, because the Breaking Swipe, guys, is just such a broken move. It's so spammy. It's a clone of Dragon Claw, but it has that guaranteed attack debuff. And he's just going to be outpacing the Yelvetto here. Actually, I guess they do equally pace to the Dark Pulses, but you know Rayquaza is going to be winning CMP. And yeah, this is just going to be a GG here. Does make it, and I think he was even a couple Dragon Tails ahead since he switched into the Solgaleo here, and yeah, there was just nothing the opponent could do there. Rayquaza again sweeping backlines, and I think we have 2 more battles, guys. We have a Kyogre lead, a very bad lead. Probably going to be instantly pivoting into the Kyurem, throws 1 Fire Spin, and then pivots, and they bring in a Dialga, and I think Kyurem should be able to get a shield advantage from this matchup. I'm imagining either that or he's going to be forcing the... Yeah, I was going to say, if they don't shield it, he might even be able to shield and then farm down. I'm not 100% sure how that matchup plays out. The Dialga obviously does have a pretty big CP advantage over the Kyurem. As you see, the Kyurem's only 4,018, whereas the Dialga's 4,620, so maybe they could have lived and still taken switch without using a shield. I'm not 100% sure, but either way, does get the thing low, and now the Solgaleo can just come in, farm down. He's got a shield advantage for the Rayquaza, and hopefully this opponent is going to be super weak to the Rayquaza and back. Does take 2 Thunders here, has a ton of energy, going to be instantly bringing in the Rayquaza, and what is the opponent's final Pokemon? And unfortunately, it's a Togekiss, and unlike the Zacian matchup, he's just going to get fully charmed down. The opponent really has no reason not to shield this, and they're probably just going to be shielding up, and oh, they actually let it go! Oh my gosh, but yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter, because they're just going to still just waterfall all the way down. And unfortunately, if he was a mad lad like in Calamonto's recent video with Winregalia's battles, where he was running Solar Beam on the Solgaleo, he could have one-shotted the Kyogre there, but actually makes that extremely close. He was just getting to the move as he got farmed down, so very well played. You still love to see the Dragon Ascent there one-shotting the Togekiss, but I think the opponent did the right thing there by no-shielding that. Recognizing the Kyogre was their win con. So in the final battle here, we have another Solgaleo lead, and I'm imagining we're probably going to see this play out very similarly. Going to tank some energy, and then probably going to be pivoting at some point into the Kyurem. Maybe even we'll tank 1 more move here, and then pivot, and again, needs to preserve his own Solgaleo in case the opponent is running a Fairy type in the back. And this time he actually stays in and shields. Very interesting decision there. And maybe he was expecting it to be an Iron Head there, and now we do see the pivot. And Solgaleo is going to throw probably a Psychic Fangs here and then switch out into something here. And they have a Lugia in the back. And this is really not what you want to see, but at the very least is luring it out so the Rayquaza does not have to see it in the end game. And they do actually let it go. It's another Shadow Apex Lugia. A very cool pick by the opponent. And just barely does make the Glaciate there. Nice call by him. I expected him to just kind of settle for the Dragon Claw there. And they just let their Lugia go down. And now I think you come in with the Rayquaza here, get a farm down, and then you're going to be able to debuff whatever in back, and they're not going to be able to reset that debuff. And if you can do that, that's going to be massive for the end game. And it's an opposing Rayquaza, and I think since he's getting this off now, I think he should make another one later on, and actually going to debuff their defense as well. And the only thing that you have to be concerned about now is potentially, okay, going to save the shield. I was going to say potentially the Rayquaza farming him all the way down and coming out with 2 moves. And hopefully he can make 1 more move. This is going to be very massive. And it does look like they're going for the farm down. And I'm not sure how much energy he has on his own Rayquaza. I think this is going to be very close. They're not quite at the back-to-back here. Going to have to commit to fast moves. And they just make the back-to-back, but the Dragon Tail goes through. And this is going to be game over. That was very, very close there. That farm down almost paid off for the opponent, but takes the win. And I believe that last battle, he didn't actually record the elo gain there, but I think that he ended up in like the 3260s, if I remember correctly. Maybe I'm wrong. He can probably correct us in the comments, but either way, very, very fun battles by this trainer. Thank you so much to Edry Jason for sending him in. It's just not every day that you get to see some really cool Pokemon like this destroying things in the Open Master League. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like. I know Master League is not everyone's favorite, but make sure you leave a like, guys. If you enjoy my content, just do it for me. It just helps the videos get more views. It truly does help a lot. And yeah, we're going to end the video now. If you want to check me out on Discord, link will be in the description. If you want to send me in your own battles, guys, I do have a huge amount of battles that I've gotten right now. I'm not probably going to get to too many more this season. I do have like 2 or 3 more submissions, maybe a few more that I'm going to try to get out over the next week and a half or so. But yeah, just feel free to always send me the battles. And if I don't feature them, don't take it personally. I just have been getting a lot of submissions lately, and I'm just kind of short on time, as you guys know. So that being said, if you're new to the channel, if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing, because the more subscribers we can get, the more Pokemon my wife will let me play.